Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather round for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast, proudly brought to you by Dreams by Design Travel. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh to the furthest corners of the globe, that'll be your compass, your confidant, your companion in that as we explore the wonders of travel. Kick back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust wash over you as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Dreams by Design Travel by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Where Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shout for your guide through the highways and byways of travel, the man with a map, the voice of the steel city, Matt Trader.
How Yinz doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast, brought to you by Dreams by Design Travel. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me again today is Amanda, who you remember from the episodes about Disneyland Resort and Magic Kingdom resorts around the Seven Seas Lagoon. So welcome back to the podcast, Amanda.
Thank you for having me. Excited to switch over to Universal today.
So we're showing Amanda's versatility, that she's not just Disney, she knows Universal as well.
Yes.
So before we jump into that, let's start the podcast the way we always do. So what is your favorite place that you have ever visited, or is there a place you'd like to visit the most?
You know, there are so many places, and I've listed a few on the last couple of podcasts. But I'm going to go with a European cruise that's on my list
Do you have any
of where I
specific
want
part?
to go. I
Any
want to
specific?
see Italy. I want to see Greece, really everything, but I would like to hit those two. I think that's doable.
A stop in like every city along the coast, please.
Yes. I'll be gone for a couple months. Yes.
Do you have a cruise line in mind that you're looking at?
Oh, I'm just loyal to Disney when we're going with the family. I love Disney Cruise Line, so it'll probably be a Disney cruise.
Very nice. So that'll be whenever you finally go on that cruise, that'll be another podcast episode for us.
Yes,
So
there you go.
a while ago, I think it was in August, it aired that I did a podcast about a European cruise that my sister and brother-in-law went on. They did Viking, so that's not going to
Mhm.
work for you too well because Viking is 18 and over. So
Yes.
unless you get some babysitters, Amanda's not going to be doing a Viking cruise at least for another, what, 16, 17 years?
It'll be not that. We'll leave her before that long, but the baby's got to be a little older before I leave the country.
At least without her, yeah.
Yes.
So, but as Amanda mentioned, we're going to talk about Universal and the most wonderful time of the year. Although there is
Yes.
some debate at Universal about what is the most wonderful time, because there are some die-hard Hollywood Horror Nights fans who think that is the best time of the year.
Yeah, there's no debate for me. Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year, no matter where you are, but especially in Universal.
Yeah, they do such a fabulous job. And
Yes.
we're going to talk about both Universal Orlando and Universal Studios Hollywood. So we're going to start with Universal Orlando, and the dates for their holiday celebration will be November 22nd until December 31st. So, right before Thanksgiving, right up until New Year's.
That's right. I'll be arriving December 1st, so I'll be there pretty early on. I'm excited to get back.
And that's right after Thanksgiving is probably the best time to go to any of the parks to experience
Yes.
the holiday stuff. That Thanksgiving is slightly crowded, and by
Yeah,
slightly crowded, I mean a madhouse.
it's crazy. And we'll actually be at Walt Disney World for the week of Thanksgiving, and then we're moving over to Universal. So I'll be with all the crazy people the week of Thanksgiving at Disney before I head over to Universal for a week with hopefully a little less crowds and more relaxing, maybe.
Yeah, and they celebrate more than just Christmas at these parks during the holiday season. That
Yes.
Just for instance, at Universal Orlando, they will have menorah lightings at sunset in all 8 of the Universal Orlando hotels. So they do celebrate Hanukkah. Um, I'm not sure if they do anything specific for Kwanzaa, but it's not just that they're throwing Christmas at you. It's the decorations of the season. So
Yes,
non-denominational.
I agree.
So I think we need to start with probably the most famous aspect of the holiday season at Universal Orlando is Earl the Squirrel.
Yes, the mascot of Universal Christmas.
And yeah, he's now a mascot that it's this squirrel that wears a red plaid jacket and a hat and causes mischief. And it is based on a true story, though.
Yes, I was going to say that based on fictional character, based on real events.
Would you like to tell the story of Earl the Squirrel, or would you like me to do it?
I'll let you take it.
So, do you know what year this started? It was a couple years, several years ago
Yeah,
that,
I don't know. I'll look it up while you're telling the
yeah,
story.
but Universal Orlando had their Christmas decorations up, and there were certain lights that just would not work on this one tree, and they went and they did what they had to do and fixed it, and then lights didn't work again, and then it was this whole battle of the lights not working, and they finally figured out that there was this squirrel that was living in the tree and was chewing on the power lines for the lights, and so that was causing the lights to go out. And so Universal being Universal, they made a story out of it, and it became the squirrel got the name of Earl. So of course, how could you not name a squirrel Earl? And so it just became this big thing. It just snowballed, sort of pun intended on that one.
Yeah, that
That
was a good one.
it just became a more famous thing, and then like urban legend type thing becomes folklore, becomes a legend, and now they have the character who walks around the parks that you can meet Earl the Squirrel. They have merchandise. There's even the holiday tree hunt that's sponsored by the Earl the Squirrel Tree Farm.
You will see him everywhere. I mean, almost as much as any other holiday character throughout the parks. And I did look this up. It was 2015 was when the Earl lore started. So leave it to Universal to turn a mishap into, marketing gold. They sell Earl the Squirrel t-shirts, there's merchandise you can buy, and they'll even have him hiding in a tree so you can go find him, spot him. Not the real Earl, stationary Earl will be in the tree.
The not quite as mischievous Earl the Squirrel.
Yes.
So, but Universal was great with that because even with Boo the Pumpkin for the Halloween Horror Nights, there's just a
Hmm.
little thing that just takes off and they'll roll with it. And they're very, very flexible and very creative with little things like that.
Yeah, a lot of places would probably try to hide it. You don't want people to see when there's issues, but no, let's turn it into something good. I like that.
Absolutely. And then all throughout the resort at all the parks and at all the hotels, they have decorations. So Christmas trees, lights, garland, things along those lines that just makes it very festive and what you would expect. And you're going in there, and even though it starts before Thanksgiving, all throughout that season, it's really, really gets you in the mood for the
Yes.
winter holidays.
Literally, as soon as you walk in the parks, you hear the Christmas music, the carols, things like that, classic tunes. And then you walk around and it's like being in your favorite holiday movie, walking around and seeing garland everywhere and the pretty decorations. It does just like it instantly makes me happy to walk in and feel that.
There is there's a feeling that goes with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe it. You walk in and like you said, it's just something that makes you happy and makes you feel good, and it just permeates the parks that it's beyond being in Universal. It's being in a even happier Universal if that's possible.
Yes, I agree. The
So,
happiest time of the year.
it, we could probably get the tagline for that. It's Oh, I think they already do.
Yeah.
So, but of course, beyond the Earl the Squirrel merchandise, they have other merchandise that you can get for the holidays, specifically at the Park Plaza Holiday Shop in Universal Studios, Florida. They have the Holiday Tribute Department Store, also at Universal Studios Hollywood. And they have also ornaments with menorah and a dreidel on it. So, again, if you need your Hanukkah gifts. And then over in Islands of Adventure, there's the Port of Entry Christmas Shop, although spelled SHOPPE. So make sure you get that down. And whenever you are doing all of this wonderful shopping at Universal, if you are staying at one of the Universal Orlando hotels, you can have the packages delivered to your hotel for free.
Yes.
So,
And you'll find merchandise and ornaments in most of the gift shops during this time of year, but the holiday tribute department store is almost like walking in an attraction. It is immersive, and that's my favorite place to stop. So if you're in the parks in the holiday season, you definitely need to stop in the holiday tribute store.
and even if you're in the park, no matter what season you're in, the tribute store is as Amanda said, it's an attraction in and of itself that
Yeah.
every quarter, so every 3 months, they change the theme of it and they go all out. And it is amazing, just the decorations and the merchandise and everything in there, that whatever theme they pick, it is everything is that theme. And they do such a fabulous job of setting that up. And they offer some really awesome things too. That there was one that was like an 80s thing of like Back to the Future and Jaws and well, Jaws is 70s, but around that time with the movies and just some of the things they offer is like, okay, I want one of those and one of
Yes.
those and one of those. And so
They
it's
pull at your heartstrings with the nostalgia. They'll bring back those movies that, you grew up on or your parents loved. And it's like, well, yeah, I have to have that.
and that's why the shipping of the merchandise back to your hotel is very, very important. So you don't have to carry that around with you all day.
Yes. And extra travel tip, pack an empty duffel bag in your suitcase. And then when you buy all of the things on vacation, you don't have to pay the extra shipping. Throw your dirty clothes in the duffel bag, check it, and then put all your, you know, more exciting finds from Universal in your suitcase.
On one trip that we took, we may or may not have had to buy an extra suitcase to ship certain things back. So,
I would say probably more than 5 times we've had to do that. So there's where the travel tip comes from. Now I pack a duffel bag so my husband doesn't say, "Are you kidding me?"
we can always use more luggage.
That's true. I can for sure.
So, and beyond the merchandise, there's also food. So specifically at Voodoo Donut in Universal City Walk, that they'll have special donuts in. Well, one, Voodoo Donut donuts to begin with, they are incredibly creative and oh, maybe they taste okay. Okay, yeah, they're really really delicious.
They're really, really good. And it's not like a regular donut. It's like they have all of these really interesting combinations, flavor combinations, and shapes, and it's fun. It's fun to go in there and pick out what you're gonna eat. Um, Kids and adults will love it because of it's you're not just gonna get a glazed donut or a plain, powdered sugar. It's gonna be something cool.
And again, whenever you get it, it's like a work of art for a lot of those. That it's
And usually
more
massive.
yeah. So come hungry. Although getting those donuts early in the morning, you need your energy to get through your day at Universal. So definitely provides the energy.
So my tip is actually to mobile order when you're heading back to your resort at the end of the night. Grab it, take it back to your hotel, and then wake up and eat it before you head out so you don't have to stop. And it's not as crowded usually if you get it at nighttime. So that's my tip.
Of course, that's assuming you have the willpower to not eat it until the next morning.
That's true.
But they're also nice and tasty for dessert too. So,
Yes. Usually I'm so exhausted at the end of the night after walking around all day. They're safe until morning.
Another place in Universal City Walk is Tusum Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen. So they are famous for their milkshakes, although this is just a general tip when you're going there. They have that Savory Feast Kitchen part of the name, and they have actual real food. And upstairs they have a bar, so those who are 21 and older can partake in some interesting concoctions. And but the food there is actually really good. So it's not just going there for the dessert and milkshakes. You can actually get a good meal there too.
Yes. And from the outside it looks like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or something out of a novel. And you walk in, it's the same, but the food is really good. You can have a huge meal. You can for sure split it with someone. And then the milkshakes are just as massive and delicious with fun flavors as well. And they always do something for the holiday season, have holiday flavors and colors and all kinds of things worked in.
Yeah, I have a list of a couple of the ones that they've had in the past. I don't know if they'll have them this year, these exact ones. They change sometimes seasonal, year to year. But one of them was called Tis the Season, which was vanilla ice cream, brown sugar, cinnamon, caramel, holiday sprinkles, which are basically sprinkles that were red, white, and green, and then a white chocolate coating on top, and then a gingerbread man on top. At least that's what it looked like. I don't know if it was actual gingerbread, but it looked like a little gingerbread man on top of it. And that's a staple of the Twosome milkshakes is that they have something huge. It's a big milkshake with some awesome flavors, but then they have something on top. Like there's one for the birthday cake that has an actual slice of birthday cake on top. So
Yes.
they have another one that is Santa's Cookies and Milkshake. That's vanilla and cookie butter ice cream with mini Chips Ahoy cookies, holiday sprinkles, buttercream icing, and then a chocolate Christmas tree on top. And then the other one
Looks
is
good.
letters. Yeah, letters to Santa. There, I need to enunciate. That is, was it coquito ice cream, uh, dulce de leche, and then a red chocolate Christmas card that is on top.
It's definitely Instagram worthy food that you will get here. It's beautiful and extravagant, but it also tastes good.
And so that's another thing. Make sure that you have your camera ready so you can get the picture of it before you dive in, because looking at it, it looks so delicious. It's like, okay, wait, stop, hold, step back, step back. We need a picture, get the lighting right.
So
All right, then
work
dive
of
in.
art. Yeah.
They are. And like letters to Santa thing, the Christmas card that's on top. I mean, it looks like a Christmas card. They do such a good job. It's like one of those TV shows of is it cake or not type thing.
Right. Yeah. And both of those, I know we're going to talk about Universal Hollywood a little later, but both of these, Voodoo Donut and Toothsome are also available at Universal Hollywood.
Yeah, so no matter which coast you're on, you can partake.
Yes. And you
And
should.
exactly. And one other food item is the crepe cart that is in Universal Studios Florida. That if you are down there during Thanksgiving or if you're for Christmas, they have a roasted turkey breast, savory herb stuffing, cornbread croutons, cranberry raisins, and sage turkey gravy in a crepe. So you can get your entire Thanksgiving meal in a crepe.
Yeah, why not? It's almost like everything in a theme park could be on a stick. It's kind of like that. It could be in a grape too.
Mhm. Sure. It's portable and, I don't think you're going to have to take the nap from the tryptophan after. So, you know,
That's true. Yeah. And like me, we're going to be in Florida during Thanksgiving, so we might have to try it just to get our taste of Thanksgiving food.
so in Universal Studios Florida, they have the Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's, which it's a Thanksgiving staple in our house and has been for years that we watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But what do they do with the balloons afterwards? a lot of them head to Universal.
Yes. So if you don't want to make the trip to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in person in New York, that is a reason to go during the Christmas season. And it was actually, um, I went last year for the first time during the holiday season to Universal, and it was something I was most excited about because I love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade every year. Like you said, so many people, it's just a part of their Thanksgiving routine and what they've done since they were little. And it did not disappoint. It was very cool to sit just a few feet from all of the floats and the performers and even Santa when he went by. So 10 out of 10 recommend seeing this when you're there.
And of course, yeah, just like the Macy's parade and most other holiday parades, Santa does make an appearance. He closes out the parade, comes in the end. So stick around till you see Santa. Although anyone who is going to New York to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, I went with my sister and her kids. Oh, geez, 13 years ago now. So we went up there, and it actually wasn't that freezing cold. It was in the 30s, but it didn't quite feel like it because there's so many people there that the body heat, you get if you're standing on the sidewalk, that gets shared. So it actually felt decently warm, and there were enough people there that it blocked the wind, so you didn't feel that. Although I was walking through the crowd, and the person in front of me was walking through also and didn't want to touch anybody as they were walking through. I'm like, okay, you're in a crowd on a
Yep.
sidewalk at Macy's in New York City. Push your way through, please.
You're in the most crowded place that you probably will ever be.
They're just waiting for people to move out of their way. And it's like, okay, you're just
Yeah.
standing there. Say, excuse me, please. And they'll
Yeah. You'll be
understand.
here all day.
Although another thing is they can get a little bit expensive, but if you can get a hotel room that is on the parade route, that is a way that you don't have to worry about weather or rain or cold or anything else. You can be up there and watch the parade go by, which my sister got a hotel room there. I was across the river in Jersey and took the ferry over, but they had a room right on the route, which was pretty neat.
Yeah. And if you're someone who's 5'4" like I am, you don't have to worry about some tall person standing in front of you blocking you.
And if you want to get a really good view of the balloons, the night before in Central Park, um, where do they start the parade? What is the square that they start at? Is it Washington? I can't
I
think of
don't
it
know.
in New York City. But anyway, right where they start the parade in Central Park, you can actually see them blow up the balloons. And so you can get maybe 30 feet away and watch them inflate the balloons the night before. So that's a really neat little thing you can do.
Yeah. Like a behind the scenes.
Yes. But as Amanda was saying, if you don't want to have to worry about the cold, you can see them in Florida, where it's probably going to be a bit warmer, and you can still see the floats and Universal. So, not having the cold, seeing the balloons go by, and being at Universal, I think that trumps going to the actual parade in New York City.
Yes.
Also, during the parade, they will have snow though, so you don't have to worry about it. You won't miss out. Although, please watch your eyes because, as it's been lovingly called here before, it's Snope. So it's bubbles that looks like snow when it's coming down. Do not look up too much because if it gets in your eyes, there's no holiday magic to stop the sting of that. So,
No. And we already talked about Santa,
hmm
who makes an appearance. But then there's other characters like the Minions, Shrek, Donkey, all of the fun characters from the Shrek franchise, and Madagascar that will be on floats, and then performers walking in front of and behind and around that dance, and you'll also see people on stilts and all kinds of exciting things. There's not really a boring moment during um, the parade. So, and then you'll also have all the classic holiday characters like nutcrackers and um, the snowmen and toy trains, and it's just fun.
Yeah, it definitely feels holiday-ish down there. So, and you have a tip for where to watch it. Although, don't do this whenever Amanda's there. Give her this spot. So, but other days when she's not there, you can go ahead and use this tip.
I will ask you to move. No. So it starts close to where the horror makeup show is. So right across from Mel's Drive-In. If you camp out on the curb there, it didn't seem to be as crowded. And then you catch the beginning of the parade, which is nice because that means that it ends with you first. So if you're wanting, if you got little ones, you're wanting to head out after, you can kind of beat the crowd a little bit because by the time it makes its way through Universal Studios, you've already seen it and you can head out to your resort.
And one of the probably most famous and popular things at Universal during the holidays is Grinchmas. So this will take place in Seuss Landing in Islands of Adventure, and you can meet the Grinch, who's also
I'm
called
wearing,
Santa with an attitude.
you can't see it, but I have on my shirt that says I'm Mrs. Claus, but married to the Grinch. But the Grinch, oh my gosh, it's bananas how excited people get because if you think of the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch, that's who is in Universal. It is like they plucked him out of the movie and you get that same experience as you do as if you were watching the film.
In that over the top sarcastic stuff, that is one thing that Universal does so well, of getting that edginess, of having that sarcasm in it, like with having Donkey in the park and the Mystic Fountain that's over in the Lost Continent, and then with the Grinch, it just, if that type of humor hits you, then you're in for a real treat.
Yes. And people love the Grinch. It's a huge part of people's holiday traditions. So, um, meeting the Grinch is extremely popular, and you'll know that by the long wait times that can pop up if you're wanting to stand in line and just meet him at the meet and greet that is free. But be prepared to wait a little bit or head there first thing as soon as you get there and get in line.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's part of the tradition that, you know, that's on TV every year. And, what was that made back in the 60s with the cartoon version
Yes.
that, you know, most people grow up seeing that year after year. You can also meet the Who's from Whoville, who are also in the park. So if you're not, if, and also be careful with your little kids to see, gauge their com comfortableness, comfort level with the Grinch, because he can be a little bit intimidating.
Yes. I mean, he doesn't dial it back. It's going to be the same type of, like you said, sarcastic, loud, in your face kind of humor that you see in the movies. It's not going to be, a quiet, sweet hug from a silent character that you get at the park down the road. It's a immersive experience. So, yes, definitely before you wait long, long, long wait times to meet him, make sure that your kids aren't going to be scared, that they're going to be excited to have fun with the Grinch.
And if they would like to have a little bit more distance from the Grinch, like my niece, who, well, now she got her driver's license a little while ago, so she's 16. But whenever she was little, we went to the parks and saw the characters. And it was the funniest thing that my sister held her for the first time. She got pictures with some of them, and she was, being very shy and just hugging my sister and putting her head on her shoulder and everything. And then they put them down, and her two older brothers were getting pictures with some of the others. And my little niece was scared to death. So she walked back as far as she could against the wall and was standing there with her arms pressed against the wall, had this huge grin on her face because she loves seeing them. But whenever one took a step over to say, like, hey, do you want to come get a picture? Huge terror
Yeah,
look on
lost
her
it.
face. They took a step back, huge grin. So it was
Yeah,
that perfect level of, all right, here's the distance I'm comfortable with. I
yeah.
want to see you. Don't get any closer.
I need you to stay as far away as my TV is at home. Like, give me the space.
Yeah, on TV you're only this big so I
Right.
want you that size from where I can see you.
Yes. I need that distance. Um, but if you have kids that don't want to um, be up close and personal with the Grinch, or you maybe don't want to wait in line, you can see the Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular, which again was such a fun show. I was so glad that we took the time to see this. You know, sometimes people go to theme parks and they think, I want to get, I want to ride all the rides. I want to make sure that I get everything in, I want to go, go, go. You've got to see the show. It is so good. It is Broadway level acting, singing. It was phenomenal.
And this is a retelling of the Grinch story, but they have Mannheim Steamroller with the music. So right there, that's a reason just to go, just to hear the music.
Yes. And it is about, I don't, do you have the time? I want to say it was about a half an hour. It was a good length show. Um, that might be too long. I need to fact check that. But it's a good length of time, and it, like you said, retells the story of the Grinch. It's got many characters from Whoville. You go through, the songs that you grew up on that are sweet and funny. And Max is in there. He's played by an actual live dog. He's a hit. And then there's a sign language interpreter that's involved in the show, and they bring him into the show. It's a humorous part, but um, it was it was it was very impressive.
And it is about 30 minutes long, is the show. Um, but as you were saying before, sometimes people go to these parks and it's, I would have to do a ride, I have to do a ride, I have to do a ride. Remember that you're there to have fun. And a lot of these shows, even though you're not, you know, hanging on by the seat of your pants to, not fly out on a roller coaster or something like that, if you're having fun and you're enjoying it, that's your purpose. And as Amanda said, the quality of these shows is just fantastic. So you're getting entertainment, and
Yeah.
it's entertainment that you really, well, this one you can't get anywhere else in this form.
Yes. And before we started recording this podcast, I asked my 14-year-old, because we went, like I said, last year. And I said, what was something that you stood out to you when we went last year, Christmas to Universal? Because we've been several times, but only once during the holidays. And he said the Grinch show. So my 14-year-old, who's a thrill seeker, will go on a roller coaster 10 times in a row, wants to ride the craziest, tallest, fastest. He didn't say, I remember when we had Express Pass and we rode, Hagrid's and Velocicoaster. We rode 3 times because we had the Unlimited Express or anything. He said, I remember the Grinch show. It was so good. So I feel like
That
that's
says
a rave
something.
review. It's hard
Hmm.
to impress teenagers. You all know if you have them.
Yeah. And so your tip about how long before the show starts should you line up?
It's popular, so I wouldn't just hop in line at the last minute. If you can line up about 30 minutes before, you have a good chance of getting in and getting a good seat. So,
Yeah, don't risk getting shut out or, get in the back corner where you can't
yes.
see as well.
Yeah.
And other chances to meet the Grinch, there's the Grinch and Friends character breakfast, which is at Islands of Adventure. Now, I haven't seen anything about where it's going to be located this year. Amanda, have you?
No, and I've been on the lookout because, well, I want to go. So I've anyway, when I have clients traveling, I keep an eye out, and they let us know when it's released, but they're very tight-lipped about it, and when it's released, it goes pretty quickly. So that is another good reason to make sure that you're booking with a travel advisor, because um, we're hooked into all the lines of information, and are among the first to know. So they haven't said yet.
and we're the ones who get up early in the morning to book it for you. So,
Yes.
and now in the past, traditionally, it's been at Circus Magurkus Cafe Stupendous. Last year, it was at the Confisco Grill because Circus Magurkus, they could make this easier for me to pronounce. You know that it was undergoing some renovation, so they couldn't hold it there, so they shifted it. So hopefully, it's going to be back at the place that's in Seuss Landing. That it just fits with the theme and so much everything so much more.
If I had to guess, that's where I would put my money.
Yeah. Now we mentioned before that there's Mannheim Steamroller music in the Grinchmas Hula Day Spectacular. Traditionally, Mannheim Steamroller does have several concerts on a couple weekends at the Music Plaza stage in Universal Studios Florida. They have not announced that yet this year, but it's been there the past couple of years, so I don't see why it wouldn't come back. Same thing with like the Grinch Friends character breakfast. Hasn't been announced yet. Well, as we're recording it, it has not been announced. So we'll see what's coming. Again, check with your travel advisor.
Yes.
So over in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, they also do the holidays, and no matter which one you're going to, they have butterbeer, whether you like it hot, cold, frozen, in ice cream form, or even fudge. So, Amanda, do you have a favorite form of it?
Frozen for sure, even when it's cold outside. Frozen is the superior butterbeer. I haven't had the fudge though, but out of the other forms, I think the frozen is much better.
You heard it here first, folks.
What do you think?
I go more with it depends on the day. That
Yeah.
if you have some days that I've been down in Florida during that December is normally when we go, either December or early January. This year we're going like right after New Year's. We'll be down there for a little more than a week. And so if we have some cold days there, like especially in the morning, a hot one is nice to warm you up and it hits the spot. But I think I have to agree with the frozen. The fudge is now, if you're going to try and travel with it though, the fudge is the way to go,
Yeah.
although it doesn't travel too far.
No, probably not.
Again, it's like the voodoo donuts. It tends to disappear before you get back to your hotel room.
Yes. We make it probably 30 feet before it's devoured. So, um, and then you'll see carts in the Wizarding World, but if you go into Hogshead, which is an indoor quick service type restaurant, it a lot of time the lines are not as long. The carts can become difficult to get around because of all the people waiting to get their butterbeer.
Hmm. And again, if you, that's a great way to start the day, though. You know, breakfast of champions with a frozen butter beer. So,
I agree. I think that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is, I mean, when I have people ask me to quote a Universal trip to them, 9 times out of 10, they're excited to see the Wizarding World. They've grown up with Harry Potter, their kids love it. And it's so immersive. You're stepping into, I mean, the Harry Potter universe. It's literally like you've turned the page and you're transported there. So seeing it at Christmas is just another level of magic. So I think you have to go both day and night. You need to go during the day so you can see all the little details of the Harry Potter, all of the Harry Potter details, but then also all of the Christmas decorations. It's really beautiful. And then at night, everything lights up and it's almost a whole nother experience. It's just beautiful.
and I'm not even that big of a Harry Potter fan. That whenever the books came out, I was. Do you know what year they were published? It was
Mm-mm.
late 90s. I think it was either I was
90s.
later in high school or I was in college. So it kind of missed me with the interest level that I know it hit many other people. And I have younger cousins who are, they got the books and they read them the entire book like in the first day type thing. And I have younger sisters who were a little bit more into it, and I've seen some of the movies and I know the general idea of it. But even for me walking into it, and my wife who is didn't grow up in the US, so she wasn't as familiar with Harry Potter at all. It's just amazing with the level of detail. And like you said, completely immersive and it's like you are there. So it's again, even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, it is worth going to see. That they
Yes.
did a fabulous job there.
It looked like the first book came out in 97. So,
Okay. It was depending on when in 97, it was either late my junior year or in my early in my senior year of high school. So,
I was
and
a
Amanda's
little
grinning
younger.
there. Amanda's slightly younger than I am.
Yeah. Um, but it is, even if, like you said, even if you don't know Harry Potter, if it's not your thing, it is really beautiful. It's just, whether you're
Yeah, my little girl
whether
coming in.
you're in a Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, um, you just get to be transported to a beautiful, decorated Christmas town with, witches and wizards roaming around.
And so with there's Diagon Alley, which is in Universal Studios Florida. You can also see Celestina Warbeck, if I can pronounce things, and the Banshees. So, and they're at the Car Kit Market, and they'll sing Christmas songs that are available on YouTube. They in non-Christmas times, you can also see them sing other songs. So, but for example of one of their Christmas songs is "My baby gave me a hippogriff for Christmas," and so just being able to hear that song.
Yeah, Diagon Alley is not the place to go for quiet time, but especially during the Christmas season, it is hustle and bustle, holidays, loud music, everybody's having a good time.
All right, and then over in Islands of Adventure, they have Hogsmeade, which I think already feels Christmassy no matter when you go, because it's like a small little village in the English countryside that has snow on the roofs. So,
Yes. And there's a year-round snowman that you'll find back there too. So,
yeah, so adding the Christmas decorations with the garland and the lights, it just adds to it. And even though you're in Florida and it might be 80 degrees, you have your snow feeling. So it works.
yes. And to get into Hogsmeade, you're walking through London. So you walk through and um, you're transported into Hogsmeade. Like you said, there's snow-topped roofs and it just has that feel already. So
And where I live, in northern West Virginia, and my family's all in Pittsburgh. That my parents and my sisters have said, hey, do you ask them if they want to come down to Florida with us on some of these trips? It's like, no, it wouldn't feel Christmassy enough. It's too warm. I want the snow. And most of the time where we're at, it doesn't snow for Christmas. It's like 40 degrees and rainy. It's like
rainy, yeah.
I'd rather have sunny and 80 degrees rather than that. So I now the snow looks pretty and everything, but then I have to shovel it and drive through it. But I'll
Yeah.
take the warmth any day.
We've gone and had, because we also normally go in December and January, and we've gone and worn tank tops through the week, and we've gone and needed toboggans and gloves, and had weeks where we started out in one and ended in the other. So it's really, you don't know what you're going to get during that season.
Which is just like another Christmas present you're opening up. What's the weather going to be like?
Yeah. That's why I have to bring so much stuff. That's why I tell my husband. Like you're dressing for all seasons.
Or you can always just buy a sweatshirt there, which we've done a couple times.
Oh, yeah, we do that too. I need both.
It's another souvenir. It's fine. So
Yes.
in Hogsmeade, though, they also have the Frog Choir, which they sing songs like Christmas at Hogwarts.
And
So
then
it's
also the traditional Muggle carols. They'll sing traditional Christmas music, but it's just like from the movies, the frog choir. It'll be a choir of people holding these bullfrogs that sing.
And if you haven't seen it on YouTube and you want a little taste of it to help you get you in the mood for your next Universal trip, it's the people who are the performers there are so talented and their voices are just so amazing
Yes.
that it's just nice to listen to. And you can see the frog choir year round too. And it's not specifically for Christmas, but they also have the baton twirlers. What are they called? The try something or others.
Yeah.
What are
I'm
baton
thinking
twirlers
of
there?
Tri-Wizard
That's
Rally
it.
from the book. Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Tri Wizard Rally. Yes. So you can see them do performances too, but they don't have anything necessarily Christmassy, but they're still really good.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. There's a If you sit down in Hogsmeade, you will catch some sort of show. It's almost anywhere that you sit down in that area.
And even if you don't see one of the formal shows, just walking around seeing people, whether it's kids or adults, with their wands doing the magic at the windows of the shops and everything, that's just entertaining to see all that stuff happen, and especially the reactions of some of the kids.
Yes, if you're not familiar with the Wizarding World at Universal, you can buy interactive wands and it will have a map and show you where to go throughout the lands. And you have to do the specific wand motion. It will pick up on a sensor and you make things throughout the area come to life, whether it's a fountain coming on or feathers jumping around, lights flickering. It's really cool, especially if you are into Harry Potter.
Wait, you're saying that the wands aren't really magic?
They are. Don't let me ruin the magic.
But just remember, the wand chooses the wizard.
Yes.
So, as Amanda mentioned before, going back at night, it's just amazing with the lights and everything. But most spectacularly is at the Hogwarts Castle, that they have projections onto the castle and fireworks, and it's a whole nighttime show that it's really, really stunning with, the I forget the exact name of the technology, but the mapping that they can project onto textured and contoured surfaces, that it looks so great.
Yes. And it's got traditional Christmas things and scenes, and then it's got clips from the movies. So it it's a Harry Potter show, but also a holiday Christmas themed.
And to make sure that you get the entire Harry Potter experience, make sure you get the park to park ticket. Because
Yes.
when you have the park to park ticket, you can take the Hogwarts Express between Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. And it works both ways, but you have to have that special park ticket in order to ride that.
Yes. So some people, it's called a park hopper at the other park, but it's just a ticket that allows you to interchangeably go to both parks. And like Matt said, you can get there through the Hogwarts Express, the train ride, or you can just walk from one park to the other, but you cannot visit both parks in the same day unless you have that park to park ticket.
And I'd say it's worth getting it at least for one time when you're down there to ride the Hogwarts Express. Because
Absolutely, especially if you were a Harry Potter fan. Um, it's a must. You have to go to the train station. The Without spoiling it too much, you get on the Hogwarts Express and there are um video or simulations that play that you'll see characters and scenes from the movies, and it makes you feel like you're being transported to and from Hogwarts.
yeah, so it's high definition TVs that are there for each of the windows that you're looking out. And I think it's well, the one that I remember back whenever this first came out that they showed a clip that you saw Harry Potter on a broomsticks flying by at one point and
Yeah.
things along those lines. So we won't say anything
Yeah.
more, but there's little surprises that pop up.
You'll see most of your favorite main characters will make some kind of appearance.
Now over at Universal City Walk, they have the Universal Cinemark, the big movie, which plays their, the current movies that are out, of course. But during the holiday season, they will show some classic holiday films, like the How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So it all ties together. We have synergy on this. And
Yep.
then at New Year's, they have special fireworks and other family-friendly activities at the hotel. So if your little kids do not like the loud noises and things like that, or if the crowds are too much, you can stay a bit away from all that action at the hotels and still have some fun things to do. And then on the other side of the country at Universal Studios Hollywood, they're going to celebrate the holidays from November 29th until January 6th. So if you get there a little bit after New Year's, you can still enjoy all the festivities.
Yep. Bring in the new year at Universal Hollywood.
And Universal Studios Hollywood typically has a very elaborate New Year's celebration that they hype that up and it's very, very popular. So if you're looking to go and you're in Hollywood, so you got to go there. It is Hollywood-esque. It is the
The place
celebration
to
they do
be.
there is the place to be, and it is worthy of being Hollywood with that celebration they do at New Year's. So, but at Super Nintendo World, they have a tree with a superstar topper, a wreath, and Mario and Luigi snowmen as some of the decorations on it.
And that's all new this year, I believe. It'll be the first year
Yeah, I
for,
don't remember hearing that from last year.
yeah.
They'll
So
also
be
have,
on the
go ahead.
ground floor to see it the very first time. Super Nintendo World transformed into a winter wonderland.
And there is precedent for that. There's one of the Mario Brother levels. I think it's Super Mario Brothers 3 that's the ice world. So
Yep. True. I didn't even think about that.
just don't eat the firepower flower beforehand. Okay. We don't want to melt things.
I thought you were gonna say the yellow snow. That's what I thought you were
Don't eat yellow
saying.
snow either.
And also a good tip.
They also have holiday merchandise. And then at the Toadstool Cafe, they have seasonal treats. So their normal food there is really creative, has a Mario Brothers theme. Um, like they have like a tiramisu that's in a box, like one of the question mark boxes that they have in the video games. And
Yes.
so there's one that has a little, I forget, I think it's a cake that has like the flag pull up that looks like one of the ending
Yes.
levels. And so they just get really, really creative with their normal food. So having the seasonal little twist on it really, really makes things neat.
So we visited earlier this year. It was the first time I had been to Super Nintendo Land, and we tried one of everything on the menu. On the dessert menu, we tried one of everything. And it was all delicious. But I think Super Nintendo Land is, am I saying it right? Or is it what? Yeah,
With World.
World, Super Nintendo World. Um, it is on the same level as the Wizarding World or Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. It is completely immersive. It is like literally walking into Super Mario and playing the video game on the NES. It's amazing. And that restaurant, like you said, the not just the desserts, the food also. Your cheeseburger has a stamped mustache for Mario and a little hat on it. And it's you have got to try it if you're there.
And again, this is something else that is Instagram worthy of the food that you want to definitely take a picture of this and enjoy the artistic expression of what it looks like before you dive in and start munching.
Yes.
And then even though just like Universal Orlando has a big thing with the Grinch and the Who's, Universal Studios Hollywood also has that. They have Whoville at Universal Plaza, and they have the Grinchmas Whobilation. So then they have the Who Quartet that will sing classic holiday songs.
I'm just gonna let you tackle all of those punny
I'll
words.
say, can you make this harder to pronounce?
Holiday songs, Who Quartet, Whobilation. Yes.
You can type this stuff and write this out. You cannot pronounce it though.
No.
They have a 65-foot tall Grinchmas tree there. And just like in Universal Orlando, you can meet the Grinch and his dog Max. So they also have story time with Cindy Lou who will read How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And so one, just reading that book is fun to begin with, but to have Cindy Lou Who read it, that's that's like just so it's like a meta thing, it's just like putting in it's so surreal that
Yeah. You need to check it off your list for sure.
the Whoville post office is also open where you can mail a joyous postcard to share your 3 good deeds that you've done.
Yeah. So make sure you were good before you head there.
Yeah, no Grinches. Okay, so
No pushing people out of line for the rides before you head there to fill out your card.
or pushing people out of the way to fill out your card first. So,
Yes.
good deeds. Remember that. And if you let someone go in front of you, that counts as a good deed. So if you're short one, you know what to do.
Yes.
They'll also have a theme craft area where you can make some paper ornaments to either hang on the Grinchmas tree or you can take home. So if you want to help decorate the Grinchmas tree at Universal Studios Hollywood, you can do that. But if you want to have that keepsake and thing to bring home, they're not going to be picky and make you keep it there.
Yeah. It's a good souvenir.
They have Who-tacular yeah. Again, Who-tacular.
Almost made it through the whole.
Almost did. At least none of these words are things that sound like words I shouldn't be saying on a podcast. So we're safe from that.
No censorship needed.
The Who-tacular sweet treats. There we go. And of course, they have Grinchmas merchandise.
Yes. You have to get your Grinch shirt while you're there, or ornament or mug or whatever. You need something.
The Grinch hat, yes. You got to look the part. And of course, they have a Wizarding World of Harry Potter as well. It's Hogsmeade out in Universal Studios Hollywood. And of course, they have the garland and the wreaths and the lights, just like at the other parks. And of course, there's butterbeer. But if you go to 3 Broomsticks, you can get some seasonal food. So if you want your Thanksgiving-ish, turkey-ish, or turkey, or your Christmas turkey or whatever, you can get your good dinner there too.
Yes, if you don't want Thanksgiving in a crepe, you can go to 3 Broomsticks.
Nothing against Thanksgiving in a crepe though.
Yeah, just variety.
They also have the Frog Choir and the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle, which is another one of a projection show with music. So in Universal City Walk, they have decorations there as well, with a 40-foot tall Christmas tree. And at 5 Towers, they have live bands, DJs, and street performers. So even if you're not going into the park, you can still enjoy some of that festive atmosphere. And I know that that's a big thing that we do on our arrival days, is that whenever we get there, if we don't have a ticket to the park that day, then especially after a long flight across country, or even if we're just going down to Florida, that we'll spend that time just enjoying City Walk and going to, maybe eat at one of the restaurants, go do shopping, and it just helps get you in the mood for being on vacation at Universal.
Yeah, there's really something for everyone at City Walk, whether, like you said, you want to go shopping, or there's everything from quick restaurants like Florida has Panda Express, and um, Hollywood might also, but to nice sit down dinners. We were talking about Toothsome earlier. There's something for everyone. No matter what you're wanting, you can pretty much find it at City Walk. And then if you've never been or aren't familiar with Universal Studios Hollywood, it's quite a bit smaller than Orlando, where it's in one park. You don't have to worry about your ticket type because there's not a second park that you have to hop over to.
Yeah, the only big thing you have to decide on with the tickets are whether you want to add the Universal Express Pass or not, or a
Yeah,
VIP tour, which we can help arrange all that for you.
yes. We'll walk you through all of the options because there still are some options, but only one park.
So as you've heard with us talking that Christmas they have or the holiday season they have a lot of really really fun stuff to do that's special that you can't enjoy any other time of the year, and just being that special most wonderful time of the year anyway, that they really really get into that atmosphere, and it makes enjoying the holidays that much more special whenever you are at a place like Universal.
Yeah, I agree. You get to create memories with your friends, your family, and see Christmas in a new light. So you get to do all of the traditional Christmas things. You can see carolers, you can have yummy Christmas snacks and food, and be a part of those stories that you love while also experiencing thrilling rides and shows and things that aren't traditionally Christmas. It's a good mix.
And I know people who get whenever they go right down each year and they get their Christmas ornament for that year. That's their special keepsake. Then it's all on their trees at home.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get a second tree pretty soon because we always get an ornament anytime we go somewhere new. But then also when we go to Disney or Universal, we get one for the resort we're staying in or something like that, but also the year.
My
So I need a
parents have
traveling tree.
my parents have have their big tree they put up, and then they have a little one that we always joke it looks like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. That's just a little thing with like branches on it that can be called a tree. It's more just like an ornament hanger that's in
Yeah.
tree themed. So you just get one of those and hang all of your travel ornaments on that one.
Yeah, it would have to be bigger. It's probably most of our tree is our destination ornaments.
So Amanda, do you have any other final thoughts before we move on to travel tips?
No, I think I'm ready for our travel tips. And I think we both kind of mentioned it a little bit, but the offerings that Universal has for Christmas are really spectacular and worth your time. So make sure that you don't bypass them because you think it's just another show or something. It's very much something that you should schedule your day around. They're spectacular. But also and this is a part of working with a travel advisor. We can help you find and put together the best vacation for your budget and wants and needs. But when you stay at a premier resort with Universal, you get complimentary express passes. So I recommend always staying at one of those three resorts because that helps you maximize your time so that you can do all of those things on your wish list, the popular attractions, and then also have time to see the shows or get in line for the Grinch or get your fifth butter beer for the day or whatever you want to do.
Only your fifth? Must be morning, huh?
Yeah.
And another thing to add on to that is that the resorts, the Hard Rock Hotel, the Portofino Bay, and the Royal Pacific, that they are fabulous resorts and they are closest to the parks in Universal Orlando. That the other hotels, you can either walk to the parks or take a water taxi, so that there's still transportation and things, and it's great being convenient and close. But being in one of those premier hotels, that you are that much closer, and so if you want that pool break during the day, or if you need nap time with young kids or whatever else, or just even getting there in the morning, you're that much closer. So beyond getting the Universal Express Pass along with your stay, the closeness and just the theming and the rooms you're going to get and the amenities at the resorts are just amazing. That
Yes.
it is, I would highly recommend going that little bit up in price, especially if you want to get the Universal Express Pass. That staying at one of the um, premier resorts is often less expensive than staying at one of the other resorts and getting the Express Pass. So you get
Yes.
more bang for your buck, really.
The value is absolutely there. And to put it in perspective, you could leave your hotel room and be in the parks in 10 minutes walking. And that, as someone who is now has life with a stroller, my life revolves around where I can take the stroller and what I have to do with it. So being able to just put my baby in the stroller, load it up, and walk into the park without having to take everything out, break it down, get on a bus, and jump through those hoops. It is so nice just to be able to walk in less than 10 minutes. You're in the park. And like you said, if I need to head back, if someone needs a nap, whether it's the baby or me, it's easy to walk back and be at your room in just a few minutes and not have to worry about transportation, waiting for it, or being full or any of that.
And the other thing along those lines is just predictability of the time. Of I know how long it's going to take me to walk back to the place. I don't have to worry about did I just miss the water taxi? Is it crowded and I have to wait in a line? Anything else that having fewer unknowns and more
Yes.
certainty and predictability is really nice. We'll have to have another episode where we talk about the premier hotels there because they are
Yeah.
amazing, especially the Hard Rock with some of the amenities you get.
Yep. I think that one's my favorite. That's where we're staying next month.
Awesome. We need to get a report from you.
Yes.
So, my travel tip, and I mentioned this before, that the week between Christmas and New Year's are very, very crowded. That is some of the most crowded times of the year, mainly because everyone's off from work and school. So, that's when people are going to go. Same thing with the week of Thanksgiving, that it can get kind of crazy there. But between Thanksgiving and Christmas is usually not that bad. And we'll usually go around the week or so before Christmas. So heading down maybe around December 13th, 14th, and then leaving around the 20th, 21st, something like that. So we're out of the way before the big crowds start to come in. It's a really nice time to go down. Or we go after New Year's. So a couple days after New Year's, right when school starting up again, if you can afford to have kids miss a couple days, that's not too bad of a time to go. That you still get to experience the Christmas atmosphere or the holiday atmosphere down there, but without quite as many crowds. And the biggest reason I like going down is I don't like winter. So whenever we can get a week in Florida as opposed to a week in cold weather, I will take that.
Yeah. It's a good trade.
So, if you have a destination or an experience that you'd like us to discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you would like to share your favorite destination or a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. If you are already working with a Dreams by Design travel advisor, please continue to work with him or her. Otherwise, Amanda, how can people get a hold of you?
So I am Amanda Brown. We have a few Amandas and Mandys at the agency. So I'm Amanda B. Amanda B at dreamsbydesigntravel.com is where you can reach me, or I'm on Facebook, DBD Amanda B, and Instagram, DBD Amanda Brown.
Speaking of hard things to pronounce, DBD Amanda B. Although it
DBD
rolls
Amanda
off the
B.
tongue. That's better
Yes,
than a lot of the stuff I was trying to pronounce
it
earlier
was
today.
taken on Instagram, but it does flow much better than DBD Amanda Brown.
So for me, on social media, on Face, X, and Instagram, I'm at Matt with DBD. Email, I'm Matt, MATT, at dreamsbydesigntravel.com. The website for our company is dreamsbydesigntravel.com. All of this information is going to be in the show description. So if you'd like to contact us, you to book a trip, or if you have any questions, you don't have to write this down immediately or have a photographic memory to remember it all. You can look it up. Don't have to worry about spelling that way. You can just copy and paste. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend if you like what you heard. We'd like to get the word out more about what we're doing here, so please pass that along. Amanda, it's as always, it's wonderful to have you on. It's great to talk now as we're getting into the well, since Halloween's coming, but as soon as that's over, it's going to be getting more towards Christmas season. Unless you're, like Walmart, they've had Christmas season for the past 3 months. So,
Yeah, November 1st, the Brown House becomes very merry. So I'm just waiting for Halloween to pass at this point.
join us next time. We're heading out in that. We'll see you later.
Thank you.